Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Seduce Me to the Demon War. In the last episode, it was our wedding day and unfortunately we were kidnapped and taken to the demon realm or whatever. But luckily, the ones who intended to kidnap me were thwarted by, it looks like, Diana and her merry gang of creatures, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting to see a different side of Diana because last time she was kind of our bad guy, bad girl. Um, but seeing her bout and even when she was being bad per se, she didn't do anything that bad. She had her reasons. So now seeing this other side of her being nice and gentle and trying to help us get home, even sacrificing her energy and getting hurt for us. It's nice to see that side of her. I like character development. And this new, her little gang of creatures, it's nice to meet them and can't wait to get to know them. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's go back. I kept my eyes down, trying to take in more of the situation I was in. I was trapped in the demon world, and Diana was out of commission. The demon lord had plans for me, but what exactly was he aiming for? I could have been bait. I could have been revenge. I didn't know, nor could I figure it out now. At least I was safe. At least, I hoped I was safe. The woman led me to a room that practically screamed medieval fantasy. Everything was clean, but it still had that old age feel, as if no one had ever stepped foot in the room until that moment. That does look pretty cool.
Rest here for now. When Diana is well again, we can discuss what to do.
Thank you. I nodded to the woman before she gently curtsied and left, closing the door behind her. I took a moment to observe my surroundings, interested in understanding the aesthetic. This was fantasy turned into reality. It was like I had gone back in time. Why, though? Was the demon world really that behind in the times? Or did magic supersede technology and this was the result? That's a good question, girl. That's something... Yeah, that's an interesting topic I would like to know about myself. Despite the situation I was in, which was beyond heartbreaking and terrible, my curiosity began to fester in my mind, as if I was given a golden opportunity to learn something new. However, my thoughts began to drift, and I felt myself becoming weak and dizzy, no doubt from the shock and trauma I had gone through. I stumbled towards the bed, needing to sit down and let everything settle in without passing out. As my rear hit the mattress, however, I let out a small, pleasured sigh. Holy crap, this is a comfy mattress. I felt myself fall back and my entire body simply melted into the softness beneath my body. It was like I was sleeping on a cloud. Was that possible? Demon magic might have something to do with it, but I was certain that I was drifting into almost a blissful sleep just by lying on the blankets and mattress. Not caring that I was still in my wedding dress. Oh, you're gonna get wrinkled. But it's not like she has another pair of clothes laying around. I closed my eyes and drifted to sleep. I needed the rest, since Diana wouldn't be available for a while anyway. Darkness surrounded my mind, my dreams remaining silent and hushed in the cool and calm black. No nightmares appeared, and no sounds were made. I was simply resting, and that was all my body needed. I let my thoughts wander in my subconscious, thinking about what was going to happen now. What will the boys do when they realize I'm gone? What will he do? I imagined him finding a way through to the demon world and pulling me back to where I belonged, wrapping me in his arms and swearing never to let me go. I would be relieved, and we would be married just as we planned. How unrealistic was that? I had to be realistic right now. I was stuck, and the only one who seemed to be able to send me back was Diana and her companions, whoever they were. I had to trust them, whether I liked it or not. Eventually, I did rise from my sleep, somehow fully refreshed and calm. How could that have been?
Did you have a good rest?
Oh, Diana, you're okay now. I turned my head to see Diana at the door, arms crossed and leaning against the door's archway. She had a look of concern and pure curiosity on her face as she awaited my answer. So they never said it. That's the interesting part. You would think she would react by saying, "By the way, Diana's naked," which makes sense because you're a succubus. Um, but yeah, she never even mentions that. So I wonder, like, in her vision, is she like covered enough that it doesn't look like she's naked? I don't know. That's just something maybe they don't want to bring up. Are you okay? Do you not know how to knock? That's rude. Yes. How about I ask if she's okay? I mean, even right now, looking, her legs are purple, so I don't know. Diana stared at me, slightly shocked. Did she not expect me to ask?
Huh. Well, yes, I'm fine now that I've had proper rest.
That's good. Diana shook her head and stepped into the room, closing the door behind her.
So we need to find another way to get you back to the human world. It won't be easy, but I believe it can be done by tonight at the latest.
Tonight? Really? Diana nodded and crossed her arms again, leaning on one hip.
It will take time to get our shadow agents to gather the necessary supplies, but they are not hard to obtain, being that we're in a position of power. You must be lucky.
What do you mean? Whoa, what's that? Diana sighed before casting a short spell under her breath. In front of me appeared a floating map, almost like a hologram. It showed an entire world with mountains, plains, and forests, and it was all surrounded by seawater, or sea and water. Sorry. Diana pointed at a marker that had a purple banner at its tip. It was marked in the center of some mountain and forest area. It was also the very center of the map.
That is where we are currently, the center of the abyssal plains.
Diana then ran her finger in a circle around the marker, showing a perimeter around it.
Everything we need for the spell is within this area. It will just take time to gather the materials and prepare it.
I nodded, understanding the situation. I was going to hopefully be able to go home tonight, which was better than not going home at all. So what should I do until then?
My suggestion? Stay in this room. I can mark this room as off limits so that no demon may enter that would confuse you for an intruder and kill you.
I gulped. I did not want to die. As Diana made the magical map disappear, she shrugged.
However, I cannot stop you from whatever you wish to do. Just don't leave the castle.
Okay. But how am I supposed to get to know you and your friends if I don't leave my room? I nodded as she turned to leave. As she stepped out, Diana looked back to me with a reassuring look.
We'll get you back to the human world. I promise you that.
Finally, she left me alone in the room. I let out a small sigh and looked up at the ceiling. I had to wait until tonight to actually do anything. What was I going to do? Part of me agreed with Diana's suggestion, wanting to stay in the room and be safe in case the guards didn't know who I was and would kill me on sight. My curiosity, however, wouldn't leave me alone and wanted me to explore the castle. I was handed an opportunity to explore a castle in the demon world, and part of me did not want it to go to waste. I was torn on what to do. Oh, I'm so torn. What should I do? Explore. Yeah, not even a question there. There was no way I was letting this chance pass me by. I stood and walked towards the door, opening it a crack and looking around. There was no one in the hall, but there were 2 directions to go. Which way? Let's go left. I went with left. I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the left corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style, and I felt a bit small in the hall. It was like I was in a fairy tale, walking around in a wedding dress. It felt almost dreamlike. The passage seemed long, decorated with wall candles, paintings, and random curtains and flowers. It was mystical to see, and I smiled. As I approached another fork in the hall, however, I sighed. Really? How does anyone find their way around? I looked back, knowing that I hadn't walked far from my room. I could turn back, yet. Ooh, I actually could head back to the room, but we're already here. Let's do another left, shall we? Oh man, this is gonna have a lot of diverging pathways now. Oh dear. I was heading left anyway. Might as well make another left. I turned left once more and headed down the hall, greeted by more fantastical decor. The sound of a heated battle caught my attention. I quickly rushed over to see a door, barely open a crack, and behind it echoed the sound of clashing swords. Oh, okay, at least we found Diana. With her boo. Nice. I peeked in to see Diana and the guard that was with her before in an intense sword fight. Now that I could take a closer look, the man was extremely handsome and looked human, yet I could sense that he was very much a demon just from his presence alone. The man had the upper hand, but it was easy to tell that he was holding back slightly by letting Diana swing her sword again and again at him before attacking her and forcing her to defend. The look on Diana's face showed pure concentration and almost anger as her sword clashed with his. I had never seen Diana this intense before, so to see stress and determination written across her expression was a surprise. Why was she fighting with a sword, though? She had demon magic.
You're holding back! Enough!
She's like, just because we're boos doesn't mean you can hold back. Diana jumped back from the man, bringing her sword to her side as the man did the same in perfect sync. She growled before tossing the weapon to him, and he caught it by the hilt with ease.
I told you not to hold back. Didn't you hear me?
The man stared at Diana before gently bringing the swords together and making them vanish into a soft black mist. He began to walk towards her as she turned around and crossed her arms.
You can't treat me as if you are training a child, Sarah. I need to be ready for whatever the demon lord throws my way, and you holding back is only a hindrance to me.
Sarah, huh?
I apologize, my lady.
He is cute.
Empty words.
It clicked. They were training. This man was her trainer, and she was being treated like a novice. Why? Also, he did apologize. Why was she being so harsh about it? Maybe it was a mistake? Diana let out a sigh and walked to the balcony of the room, laying her hands on the railing and leaning over her arms.
As each day goes by, my kingdom, my army, and I are constantly at risk. If I cannot defend myself when my energy runs out, then how will I defend this kingdom?
You will be victorious.
Aww. She's so different. Interesting.
I will be slaughtered because of your inability to train me properly.
Ooh.
You know why I cannot, and yet you still demand it of me. I cannot bring myself to even potentially harm you.
Because he loves you. Yes, I like this ship. Yes.
And that will lead to my death.
Then ask somebody else to train you. What? What was Sarah talking about? Why couldn't he train her properly? Why was she so peeved about it? Couldn't she just get another trainer? Exactly. Seriously, there has to be somebody else who could tell you how to use a sword.
You will not die, my lady. I promise you that.
I cannot trust anyone who says that to me.
Diana, come on.
But you know that it's true. I will repeat my promise over and over to you until you accept it.
That promise comes out of a lie.
I watched as Sarah walked over to Diana and gently wrapped his arms around her from behind. She didn't resist. She didn't lean into the embrace either.
My love for you is not a lie, Azair.
Ah, that's her name. Okay. Is Azayar? Is that what he said?
You do not have permission to use my name.
You are avoiding the subject. My feelings for you are real.
I ship it, but at the same time, I like being with her in her route. So I'm like, what we gonna do when it's when I play her route? Is this gonna be a love triangle? That would be interesting.
Your feelings are false.
They are as pure and true as your golden heart.
Oh, I could not believe what I was seeing. Diana had an admirer? When did this become a thing? Who even was this guy to her? Why was she so against him and his love?
You will defeat the Demon Lord and bring freedom to the Abyssal Plains. You will rise and become the land's new queen and sovereign, and I will stand beside you forevermore because I love you.
Aww. Girl, just accept the love.
Deny my love all you may. I have served you and your family my entire life. I could never lie or hurt you. If you truly cannot love me back, then I will remain as your humble protector and servant till the end of my days.
Aww.
You waste your life on me.
It is not a waste to serve and protect the woman I love with my life.
He's so cute. Cinnamon roll.
You waste your love on me.
It's not a waste to love such a wonderful woman.
I didn't know what to make of this. Sarah really seemed dedicated to Diana, yet she was putting up some sort of emotional wall between them that he couldn't break through. It was sad to watch, yet from the posture Diana held, I could tell that she felt her actions were justified. Maybe she was trying to protect him from her. Maybe she didn't want to hurt him. I had seen firsthand what she could do if you had something she needed. This must be how she acted when something needed her. Ooh, okay. I see you. I think we should leave now. Let them have their peace and quiet time together. Diana gently sighed. To his and my surprise, Diana turned her body slightly to Sero in his arms and ran her hand over Sero's chest, making his uniform top vanish into purple mist and leaving his chest bare. What was Diana doing? What do you mean, what is she doing, girl? She's gonna have some special private time, so you should just leave.
I need energy.
Uh-huh, sure.
From me, or do you wish me to?
Just give me your energy. I have no time to wait for you to get me a sweet flower.
A sweet flower, okay. Sero nodded before gently turning Diana fully to him in his arms and kissing her. For some reason, it may have looked like a normal kiss, but I could feel the love and passion that ran through it. It was almost magical to watch. One thing was for certain, however. He really did love her. The way he held her painted his feelings like a picture, so openly gentle and loving. Did she love him, though? She simply had one hand holding one of his arms while another rested against Sero's back. Diana's feelings were an enigma. Ugh, why can't I talk right now? Were an enigma. That's always weird. An enigma. You gotta say it like slowly. I quickly took that moment to leave, not wanting to disturb them and not wanting to see their moment go any further than that kiss. Yeah, let's be a little more discreet. I remained in my room until the night came. I was given food which looked like soup. The woman who gave it to me apologized, letting me know that food was scarce until the upcoming harvest, which was a couple of days away. Being that I was only staying the day, I didn't mind much. We'll see about that. I have a feeling you're not going to be able to go home that quickly and easily. I was more concerned over what I was given to eat. It was some sort of stew with mysterious chunks swimming in its broth. Uh-oh. It smelled surprisingly good, but who knew how it tasted? That's rude, girl. Just eat it. Ugh, it's scary, but whatever. I gulped. I had to try it. I had to eat it. I hadn't eaten in 2 days, even before I came to the demon world. I was pretty certain Diana wouldn't poison me now, and I was fairly sure that she wouldn't serve me anything disgusting. I lifted the spoon that was sitting in the broth, letting it capture some of the stew as it rose. I mean, it wasn't terribly scary to look at. I gulped and slowly brought the spoon to my lips, feeling the heat emanate from the stew. A knock rapped on my door, breaking me out of my train of thought. Huh? Come in. The door opened to reveal Diana with a plate. Oh, okay, there we go. With a plate holding things I recognized, bread and cheese. I let out a heavy sigh of relief before Diana laughed.
I suggest not trying that. As good as it smells, the taste would not sit well with you.
Thank goodness, then. Instantly, I moved the bowl to the nearby table, thankful that I did not have to try it. Diana handed me the plate and nodded, reassuring me that what was on it was indeed what it seemed.
It's not much, but it's human food. Eat up.
I will. I began to chow down, feeling the hunger in my stomach dissipate with each bite and swallow. The food I was eating, surprisingly, was delicious. As I began to crave something to drink, Diana chuckled and formed a small goblet in her hand, filled with clear liquid that I assumed to be water. I took it and drank it down, feeling my thirst quenched before I let out a sigh. Ah, I feel so much better.
I can tell. Take a moment to finish eating. Then we'll head for the ritual.
I looked up at Diana, suddenly excited. Everything was prepared for her? Was it possible to go home now? As if she read my mind, she smiled and nodded.
We finished the main preparations. We just need to head over and we'll start.
I couldn't continue eating. My mind went into an obsessive frenzy of wanting to go home. I stood up, moving the plate and goblet to the nearby table. Let's go.
Huh? Are you sure?
I nodded, not wanting to waste any more time. I needed to get home, and I was tired of waiting. Diana stared before nodding and heading for the door, opening it for me and exiting after me. As she closed the door behind her, I began to feel my heart flutter in relieved joy. I was heading home. I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. Diana led me down the corridors to the war room, where I had originally arrived, to reveal the table covered in plants and artifacts of different kinds. None of it made sense to me, but I had to only assume it was what was needed for the spell to work. Diana walked to the table and took note of what she saw, nodding.
This should work.
You're in doubt?
Have to be after the last time we tried sending her home. Do we have a human anchor?
No, you're on your own this time. But we'll make sure you survive casting it.
The spell should work, however, because we'll be using energy material. It will only require a slice of your energy on top of these items, which your guard can refill immediately after this.
Okay.
Just make sure you don't die casting it.
Diana smiled at her guard before turning to me.
So, are you ready to return home?
She didn't have to ask. I'm ready. Diana nodded once more before turning back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head, muttering under her breath.
O tenebris portas, apriat nobis, largiatur exidium, desiderium.
As she spoke, the table began to glow as she did. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her head back, staring at the ceiling. A glimpse at her eyes made me gasp. Warm, golden orbs covered her blood-red irises, glowing with magic. She was deep within a spell, and I could see it slowly draw energy from her body. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other, almost as if the lights were dancing to a silent tune. The other demons stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her finger pointed into the air, leading the lights to follow where it directed obediently. She drew a large circle in the air, and the lights followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air. As they finally stopped moving, they burst into a bright light, causing the demons and I to cover our eyes from it. It engulfed the room, but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it before pulling the tear apart, revealing my bedroom. Nice. Diana continued to peel the tear. I'm sorry, this reminds me of Bioshock Infinite. Having tears in the realm, in the world, like a portal, you know? That was really cool. I love that game. Diana continued to pull the tear open, giving enough space for me to jump through.
Hurry and go through! This is your chance!
I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I gripped the bottom of my dress and rushed forward, using momentum to jump into the air and forward towards the void. I could almost reach it. I could feel the air conditioning of my room right at my fingertips. I was...
She will never leave this world alive!
Dagnabbit. The demon lord's voice rang through the air, just as I saw my fingertips pass through the tear. What stopped the rest of my body was a red light and force, forcing me and Diana back from the opening. Gah! I felt my body fly backwards and slam into the wall before I landed on the stone ground. Eek, all this abuse. I heard Diana as well land beside me with a painful thud. I looked up and felt my heart break as the tear became wrapped in red lightning, zipping itself closed and vanishing into thin air. Oh, man. No, this could not be.
Damn it!
That should have worked. How could it have failed?
We must have missed something. Was there anything we had forgotten?
No. I verified everything myself.
Then why was the Demon Lord able to overpower a gate spell?
I highly doubt you know either, brute.
Stop fighting! We need to make a plan and all of you are just being stupid! Stupid!
Oh, boy.
Are you all right, Isaiah?
I'm fine.
I was too lost in my mind to fully understand what was going on around me. I was so close. I felt the other side. I had almost made it home. Why couldn't I go home? Diana's grunt of pain next to me made me shoot my head towards her, and I watched her slowly push herself off of the ground and glare at the table.
The Demon Lord must have done something more than simply bring her here.
Like what?
What could he have done?
The Demon Lord is incapable of doing anything of the sort. His lackey imps must have done something to her.
A spell?
A curse.
I looked to the rabbit woman, seeing her stare wide-eyed at me. The other demons stared at me as well, and suddenly I felt like I was on display. Was something wrong with me?
She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane. In order to leave, she'd have to die.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. What? My mind went blank. Did the Demon Lord really curse me? Was I forced to stay in this world until I died? I could never go back?
Are you suggesting a barrier curse?
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
But dark magic like that requires...
Blood of 1,000 demons. He must have sacrificed part of his army to cast a curse on her that would prevent her from leaving.
Seriously? He killed 1,000 of his warriors, his demons, his people, just for one girl? Bruh. Bruh. Okay. That's insane. This should be interesting, though. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. This game is, I don't know. I feel so far like I actually like it more than the first one. Even though the first one was great because you're falling in love with the characters, I felt, I don't know. It's hard to, I don't know how to describe it yet. It's too soon for me to really give an analysis or anything. But I'll say, like, I really am enjoying this so far, and the storyline is really cool. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye!